when you're in pain, soothing as a springtime rain, to have a friend right in your corner. Your heart will feel a little warmer. Tender loving care, tender loving care. Each warm and friendly touch lets someone know you care so much. Tender loving care, tender loving care.
Good evening and welcome to Tender Loving Care. I'm Carol Long and I'm filling in for Dr. Greenbrier Allman for the next few weeks while he gets acquainted with a new grandbaby. Tender Loving Care is something that is very important in the way we live. And so in the next few weeks, just like last week, we're going to be talking to some of the organization members who work in Upshur County to bring that tender loving care to folks in need. So it's a lot of volunteerism. Each person has a purpose, and everybody has gifts and talents. And if they use those gifts and talents and their creativity, and you get leadership and teamwork, about anything can be accomplished. Today we're going to be talking about the Upshur County Christmas Store, and I have a guest. This is Cindy Hunt, who's worked with it for a while. You can see she's got her Christmas hat on. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to go back just a little bit because I know a lot about the Christmas Store because I was one of the persons that came together in this leadership role to put something together for children to have a happy Christmas.
Yes.
And it used to be that a lot of folks were helped by various churches, but there were a lot of those folks who really don't want to ask for help, and they were slipping through the cracks. And the program has grown tremendously over the years. And there is a system by which it operates, and that's what you're here for this evening, is to tell the folks a little bit about the Upshur County Christmas Store. You might want to give them an idea of how you became involved and why it's so important to you.
Yes. Okay, well, the Christmas store started in 1989. So this will be our 24th year. And how I got started, I started in 1993, and it was because we were down and out and we needed help at Christmas time. And we took the parish house, we went to the parish house and crossed lines, and they were able to send us to the Christmas store. And I was able to have Christmas for my son. We were able to get a used toy and a new toy, and we actually paid between $1 and $3 for a new toy. And the way it works is if you're eligible for free or reduced lunches, you're eligible for the Christmas store. So if you live in Upshur County, you have to be an Upshur County resident, okay? Mm-hmm. And your children go to Upshur County school, okay? So some of us live on the edge. So if your children go to Upshur County schools, we have that little boundary there. So in some areas where they go to like Volga or and they go to Upshur County schools, but they might just live on that border, they're still eligible for the Christmas store. So
I'm going to interject here. It's Christmas store is for children in school, but also for younger ones in families.
Absolutely. We service birth to age 18, which is very rare. Most places do like Toys for Tots and just do young children, but like not to get off the subject, but we had a family come in one time, and their daughter the young girl had come in for her little baby. And it happened to be her parents came with her, and there was an 18-year-old boy, 18-year-old boy, who was her brother, came in. And he was like, you mean my parents could shop for me? And I said, absolutely. And he actually, his parents were like, no, we have no money. And I told him it was okay. Their bill had been paid a long time ago. And because sometimes we have special funds for those cases where you don't have money. And that young man was almost in tears because he actually got to get a basketball for Christmas. And so a lot of people just don't realize how important the program is to families who just absolutely have nothing.
I think the thing that has always impressed me the most is the fact that many of these folks who shop come and volunteer because
Yes.
they think it's such an important program. They want to give back, and that's how they can do it, by helping.
Yes, truth is, I got started in 97 or 93 because I had gotten help with my son,
And because she's good on the computer.
and I've been doing it ever since. So that's very true. And because one of my talents is the computer, we were able to computerize everything. So yes, it's a wonderful program, and some of the things they get. I'll run down some of the things they get. Each child may receive one new toy or gift, new or used book, used games, puzzles, or videos, gloves or mittens, and those are normally new, okay, hat and or coat, okay, and they usually get gloves, a hat, and a coat, okay, new pair of socks, new pair of underwear, stocking stuffers, and Christmas decorations, and then everything is gift wrapped, and the parents go out in a nice big garbage bag. We call them their shopping carts, and everything's wrapped and ready for Christmas, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have those gifts and then have them go out and have to buy paper to wrap all that. So we try to get as much as we can for the families. It's a wonderful program. Everyone's very appreciative. Everyone is very they get involved and they help. We usually service 1,000 children, 400 families. We usually do it in 4 days. This year, we're challenged, and we have to do it in 3 days. So this year we actually, we've always been able to do Saturdays. So we can't do Saturday this year. Instead, we're doing an evening. So we're doing Thursday evening. And so the Christmas store is going to be open December 4th, 5th, and 6th. And on the 5th, we'll have Thursday evening. And you come by appointment.
And where is it going to be located?
At the National Guard Armory in Buchanan.
Well, it's here in Tennerton. But
in
it is
Tennerton.
Route 20 South.
Yes. And the applications, you should have seen these in the schools. They've gone out in all the schools. They've gone out through Head Start, DHHR, WIC. If you haven't gotten an application, and again, it's birth to age 18, okay, you can stop by the Parish House at Crossline, 68 College Avenue, and they will be happy to sign you up. So we turn these in November 8th. Or if you want to stop by, we're having a free will dinner, a fundraiser, on November 9th at Chapel Hill from noon to 7, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the annual Christmas dinner.
That's the annual Christmas dinner.
Ham, all the trims.
Yes, stuffing. It's a wonderful, wonderful dinner. And that's one way we raise funds, because it takes a lot of, we raise funds all years long to do this. And it takes a lot, because you're doing 1,000 children, and just a $10 gift just doesn't cut it anymore. And they're usually $15, $25 gifts.
That's true.
So,
well, if folks are watching this and they're at home, they can start by maybe finding a coat that doesn't fit their child anymore.
Yes.
You take used coats,
We will.
rubber boots, not
Right.
boats.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. The boots, and you know, you want to make sure they're in pretty good condition. What do we call them? Used, as opposed to used.
Well, you know, some children will outgrow something before it looks
Yes,
like
they
it's
do.
even worn. So,
they
you know,
do.
little tiny ones, especially baby things.
Especially baby
You know,
things, yeah.
can you use, I'm going to ask you some things,
Okay.
and then you can tell me yes or no. And if you've got them at home, put them aside, and you can take this to the parish house, can't you? And say it's for the Christmas store.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So what if somebody has baby blankets, new or almost like new? Could you use that like for a layette for a baby maybe?
For Layette,
For a little baby?
Yes, they could do that. Yes.
Okay. But we're not doing used toys and stuffed
No.
animals. And give us the
No.
reason why.
Well, there have been new laws passed where you can get in trouble with the used toys. Plus, if they have like lead paint and things of that nature, it's just you become more liable with the used toys. And then a lot of the stuffed animals, it's harder to have. They have to be clean. They have to. You never know if you have drug paraphernalia put in them or things like that. So it's just the liability issue is a major issue. So and it's hard to keep all that in storage. It's hard enough to do storage for the new toys.
Are you already shopping?
We've been shopping all year long.
Okay. You've been shopping all year long, and one thing that I want this message to get across to those who may come to shop, there's something all the time. It's not like if you come the first day, the second day, there's nothing to choose from.
Oh, absolutely not. And that's a real worry for a lot of folks because we schedule appointments for people to come. And everybody wants the first day, which is Wednesday, because they think all the good stuff is out the first day. And that's really not a true statement because we go shopping every day. And a lot of times what we'll do is, like, if we have 4 of something, we hold back so that item is out there each day. Okay, so that everything isn't put out there the first day. Okay, it's if like I said, if we had 4 of something, each item would be put out there for each day. Okay, so and like I said, this year we're having a night session so that each session would have that one item. So and so everybody thinks, oh, I have to be there on Wednesday, otherwise everything's going to be gone, and that's not true. And sometimes I have to sit there and laugh because it's just everybody calls me and says I can't make Saturday or Friday or Thursday. I have to be there on Wednesday. So there's only so many slots, and we can only serve so many people in one day.
And it works. It really works like clockwork.
Oh, it does.
I mean, it's just every few minutes there's somebody coming in, and there's always folks. I think volunteers. This is a really good experience for someone who
Yes.
who says, "I'd like to do something, but I don't want to be in charge of it. I don't want to be committed for a year.
Right.
Come and help one day."
Yes.
With the Christmas store, you could be a clerk. You can be someone that wraps package. If you like to gift wrap, they always need gift wrappers.
Yes, I do.
And
Yes, I
if somebody's sitting at home watching and said, well, I wouldn't mind to be a gift wrapper or to be a clerk or to even go shopping or whatever, who can they call?
Who can they call? They can call, right now, they can call Ken Johnson, or actually on the application you have my number, and unfortunately I didn't bring all my numbers with you to be able to tell you all the numbers, but I have my number on there. My number is 613-9627, which is Xmas at the end, so it's 613 Xmas, and then Rebecca Hunt Ford, and her number is 304-619-1094.
So if somebody was interested in volunteering, they could could call you, or
Yes.
if you have major questions, don't just call unless you have a question, or you want to provide something and you don't have the information that you need on it.
I will definitely direct you in the right direction, okay,
you-
if I
you do-
can't answer your question.
You do have a board of directors.
Yes, actually, I do have the numbers here. They're right in front of me.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Ken Johnson is the president, co-president, and his number's 472-1631. Margaret Riggs is the other co-president, and her number's 924-5712. Carol Shinesky is vice president. Her number's 472-2476. And so those three could be able to answer your questions if you have any. But again, feel free to call me. I'm happy to answer your questions. I keep my cell phone with me all the time. And it's pretty simple. We are in the process of working with the volunteer coordinator, and I just don't have their name yet. So,
Now, when you say volunteer coordinator, is that somebody that puts the schedule together with the folks that volunteer?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So then I can just say, well, this is our volunteer coordinator. That way, if you want to volunteer, I can get you that name. At present, temporarily, you can call me or Rebecca Hunt Ford, and we'll get you set up and ready to volunteer if you would like to do that, because we can use all the help we can get.
Well, some of the other things that you can do if you have, I go to yard sales, and I've been to various places where they have leftover wrapping paper. Maybe not a complete roll, but they have enough to do 2 or 3 packages.
Yes.
If you've got a bag of wrapping paper at home and you want to get rid of it, this is a good place. Ribbons,
Ribbons, tags.
tape.
Old Christmas decorations.
Yes, because especially trees, you'd be
Yes.
surprised how many folks do not have money to buy a tree, or they can't get one, or if they do get a tree, that's all they'd have in their house would be the empty tree because they don't have anything to put on it.
Right, and like coloring books for the kids. But we had a lady one year, because again, I've been doing this since '93, and she had nothing. Her house had burned down. She had nothing, so she was real upset because she wasn't going to have a tree or anything, and so. We had some trees there, and was able to give her an artificial tree. And then we talked about how, my family always made things for the tree, like the chain linked chain out of
Popcorn.
construction
Yeah.
paper and the
Popcorn,
popcorn,
cranberries.
and she had never done anything like that, and so that just filled her with joy about thinking how her and the kids could have a lot of fun with their first Christmas in their house.
Well, even one other thing you could do if there's Christmas cards.
Right.
Put some Christmas cards, a little ribbon,
Little
Christmas
ribbon,
card on the
yep.
tree. So be inventive.
Yes.
Be creative. That's the word for the day, is creative.
Absolutely.
And,
And show your talents,
Right.
because they just shine through. All you have to do is let them shine through. Because we all have such talents. I have volunteers that have come and helped us, and I just love to watch them grow so much. And they didn't realize what kind of talents they did have. And like some of the young ladies are so good helping young mothers go around and just shop for their kids and suggest things and just be so personable, and they just come out and flourish and never thought that they could do those things.
one of the problems in the years that I'm familiar with a Christmas store are gift items for the teenagers. That's a hard one to come by.
It is a hard one to
and,
come by.
that's something else. If you would like to provide, it has to be at least a $10 value.
Yes, at least a $10 value.
So, not just a little ping pong ball on a paddle. We're
Right.
talking about radios. We're talking about footballs, basketballs, soccer balls. We got a big soccer county here. So
A CD, like
CDs,
I
right.
have no clue what teenagers like these
neither.
days. Okay, so you know,
and games,
and
doll
games.
babies. But they give doll babies. Right?
doll babies. I'm not one of the shoppers. That is not one of my gifts and talents. Okay, but they have people who love to shop, and if that is one of your gifts and talents, by all means. Contact us and we'll put you in the right direction
Well-
because that's not.
This is just an example. Lots of times you can find hats like this that are very inexpensive. $1 or
Yes.
so makes a wonderful warm hat for a little boy or a girl. And so this is one.
Yes.
I'm going to give this one to you. If
Awesome.
there's some folks out there that have new socks or have hats or coats or boots, those underwear,
Yes.
mittens, they need mittens to keep them warm in the wintertime. So those are just some of the things that you can volunteer to give. You know, when you're out shopping for your grandchild, pick up an extra hat or two.
Absolutely.
And we do also have another way that people can participate, and that's organizations.
Yes.
Lots of times we have some organizations, I don't know if they're still doing it, but when I work with the Christmas store, we'd have organizations that would draw names. But what they would do, they would bring something to the Christmas store for
Yes.
a child.
Yes.
They said, we don't need anything, but we'll draw for a child.
Yes.
So maybe you could suggest organizations do that, and every person in that organization do for a different age.
That's true.
You know, from
Another
babies
thing
all the way through teens.
is like some older folks. We had an older woman who would take and knit hats all year
Oh,
long.
I remember her.
And or take and knit or crochet the little booties. They weren't like socks, but they were like booties
Well, yeah,
that
house
the kids
zippers.
could run around.
And
Yeah,
they
like
love
house,
'em.
and
They
they
love 'em.
loved them. They loved them. And or a lady was real good at making dolls, and she would make dolls and just bring them in. And these were dolls that she would normally sell out there, and she would bring them in.
Well,
and
the
and
other
we would
thing,
have them
now,
for
do you
families.
have, do you have an organization that provide books for you, or do you need them from everywhere?
The literacy volunteers help us out a lot with some of the books. They're very good about that. But we do get books donated also. Puzzles are a big deal. Like a lot of people who love to put puzzles together, and then after they're done, they put them all back together and tape them shut. If they want to just donate them to the Christmas
long as
store,
they're all
as
there,
long
all
as
the
they're all
pieces.
there, there's nothing worse than putting a puzzle together and
Well,
missing
you know,
a piece.
Scrabble.
Scrabble, old games
Yeah.
that all the pieces are there and it's taped shut is wonderful because those are nice things to have for the kids so they can all learn to work together and have fun together.
Well, and
with
one
the
of the other
games.
things that's always been popular for the boys and the girls are sleeping bags.
Yes.
If somebody's out there and they would like to buy a sleeping bag
Yes.
for a little one or for a teenager,
Yes.
that would be very important. Jewelry for the girls.
Yes, shaving
Watches.
kits for the older teenage boys. So even sleds. The sleds were a big deal. Where they had, we couldn't keep enough of those in. So it just, they have a great need. And like I said, we do 1,000 children. We service 1,000, and that's all in Upshur County. It all stays in Upshur County.
And that
So-
is sometimes the only gift that child gets for Christmas.
Yes, it is.
Because the parents just can't afford it.
Yes, it is.
And you know, a lot of people, and this question has always come up to me, well, why don't you just give everything away?
You know, because people, a lot of our clients don't want charity.
Right.
They want to be invested too. Okay. Because I'm the lady they come in to see first normally. And I have offered that before and they say no, we want to pay. And they may be handing me change, but it's very important to them that they pay. Okay, and it may just be $1 a child. It may
It's no
be,
more than $3
It's
for any
never
person
more
per
than
child.
$3 per child. Okay, and like $1, if the toy costs under $15, the family only has to pay $1. If the toy costs $15.01 to $20, it costs $2. And if the toy costs $20 or more, then it costs $3. So
You have a choice.
they have a choice. But they will come in and they want to be able to pay because, again, we have people who are only getting $500 a month, okay? And that's all they're living on. And, we see that. And we have a special fund. And I may say, I see times are tough for you. I have a special fund here. Can we help you? And,
I remember
and they'll
one-
say no.
I remember a lady, I was working as a clerk on the floor, and the lady came in. I think she had maybe one child.
Yes.
She bought something. She came up and she handed me a couple of dollars and she said, "Here, so somebody else can have a gift."
Yes.
So this is what it's humbling.
Yes, it is.
It's one of the most fuzzy, warm feelings that you have when you can help another family and you can see the smile on their faces when they're searching for just the right gift for that child, and they have a choice.
It
It's not
touches
like-
my
yeah.
heart. It roars in my head. You help me when you help the least of these. So it just
Tender
it
loving
does.
care.
It
And
is.
that
It's
to me
tender
is-
loving care.
Well, I appreciate you coming, Cindy. Tell us two things.
Yes.
A phone number that they can call, and tell us again about that dinner and what date the Christmas store is going to be. And
Okay.
the applications are out now.
Yes, the
So
applications
watch
are
for
out
one.
now, and if you haven't gotten one, they are at the Parish House at Crossline, 68 College Avenue, and you can also get them at Mountain Cap. Okay, the date of the Christmas store is December 4th through the 6th. The applications should be turned in by the 8th, but if they aren't, it's not the end of the world. It just, if you have them in by the 8th, November 8th, then I can get them out, your invitation out to you by Thanksgiving.
And you will be
Okay.
sending a card.
I
to
send you
everybody.
a card in the mail, and it tells you when your appointment is, because I have the people scheduled every 3 minutes, so they come in real nice and steady, and then it's not this huge crowd, okay? And then so we actually take people all the way up until the very last day. Okay, so and the Christmas store is actually held December 4th through the 6th. Okay,
So we just want everybody to participate. If you're out there and you have something you can donate or some time you can donate, that's very important too. I want to thank you for coming, Cindy. Something else?
one more, and the dinner, the fundraising dinner, okay, to help us raise funds for the Christmas store is November the 9th. Okay, and if you have your application, by all means, bring it with you that day. Okay, and it's from noon to 7. And it's a wonderful ham and turkey dinner with all the trimmings.
Is it a free will offering?
It's a free will offering. It's a free will offering.
And you can take out?
Yes, we have takeouts.
So
Absolutely.
you can't lose. I
Yes,
always get an extra one to have the
Yes.
next day. So we have a lot of things coming up with the Christmas store. Their dinner, their applications are out. If you don't get one, you know where to get them. These are some of the things that go on in Upshur County that are very beneficial to our families, not only to the families that are served, but to the servers, because each of us has a purpose. And in this world, each of us could be creative with our gifts and talents. With creation comes faith, excitement, goals, originality, interest, commitment, a plan of action, and the willingness to lead to the production of your creation. The most successful creations are completed with teamwork. That's a very important word. A good leader will find the most talented and committed folks to be a part of the creative team. So that's what Tender Loving Care is all about. We will bring you, next week we're going to be talking about literacy volunteers. We might find out more about the books for the Christmas store and how they operate. So we ask you to come back. And the thought that I have for this evening is God gives every person the power of a story to tell. And as we share our stories, Let our stories be the lights to shine for others. Until next week, you have a nice evening and use tender loving care. Bye-bye.
Stories of a West Virginia Doctor, written by Dr. Harold D. Allman. A collection of 55 short stories about his experience as a small-town doctor in central West Virginia. And Tender Loving Care. Stories from a West Virginia Doctor, Volume 2, written by Dr. Greenbrier Allman, using videotapes to write 70 additional stories of his father's very colorful life as a small-town doctor. They can be found for purchase at Amazon.com and most local bookstores. Tune into Channel 3 Buckhannon for Tender Loving Care with Dr. Greenbrier Allman, where he talks about the connection between Christianity and medicine.